too icy.
Funniest thing just happened. We started the podcast without even recording the jump. So we was recording on the video, but not on the actual Anchor app. So now we back into it.
All right.
So the first topic that we started off with today was, when is it okay to let your lady take charge? So with that, I feel like it's to each their own. Some people feel like they shouldn't have to take charge, or just some people feel like the woman shouldn't be in charge, and that the man should lead the way and be the bread getter. And but then you're demeaning women at that point in time. You know, you're trying to keep them stuck in this box of not working and being the stay-at-home mom and washing dishes and cooking and cleaning. And why put them in that box? You know, sometimes you gotta, well, I wouldn't say sometimes, you should lift your woman up and your lady up, lift these women up, and let them reach their pinnacle, let them get to their level of achievements that they want to. But people tend to go back when they want to with generational curses, where they go, well, the man should be the breadwinner. Okay, if that's the case, then the woman should be the stay-at-home woman. I mean, it's no point in you even going to work, but women want to be out here working, getting money too, as they should. You dig what I'm saying? It's no point of keeping people in these boxes where that was their time. It's our time to make our own ways now. You dig what I'm saying?
Most definitely. That's a great point.
Hey, bro, like it's crazy with our generation, how we're getting caught up with a whole bunch of stigmas now.
In the older crowd, like, they don't understand. Like, if you're a laid back type of guy, and they don't see that you rude with your voice, you're not the loudest person in the room, they feel like, oh, he's not a real man. But like, I feel like, you a real man stays true to himself. You don't gotta be the loudest person in the room. You don't gotta let the house know that you pay the bills, or
Right.
that you did this and that. As long as you and your lady know what's going on, that's all that matters.
Right.
But I'm gonna say, to answer the question, to get back on topic, I feel like it definitely is okay to let your lady take charge.
At all times, whenever she feels like it. Even if it doesn't have to be a conversation, I feel like it shouldn't have to be a conversation. Your lady should be able to take charge whenever need be. Like, even if you want to go ahead and be like, hey babe, can you do this? And it should. I feel like it shouldn't have to be a conversation of who's going to lead that journey. It should just be, okay, well, let's do this. All right, bet, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, and that be the conversation. It shouldn't have to go, well, are you going to do this? It shouldn't be those questions to have to be asked.
I mean, most definitely, bro. Like, shit, we both had kids or whatever. You don't want your significant other coming to you for permission to do things. And I feel like, we all have strengths and weaknesses. Like, if you know that you struggle in a certain situation, or she just may be better at handling something that you are, why not put your pride to the side and let her come in and say, okay, you're better at this than me. Boom. Just like, if you want to be typical, she's not going to try to carry a refrigerator in the house by herself. She's going to come to you.
Right.
She's letting you take charge.
Right.
And, when it comes to yourself, when it comes to something finesse or something emotional, you want to let her take charge. Right. 9 times out of 10.
That's just like, with example what you saying, like, if you're in the car with your girl, right? Is she pumping the gas?
Nah.
Exactly. But people see that as a problem because, let's say you pull up and you see a guy in the car and his girl pumping gas. Now, granted, what is the problem with that? If she feels the need, let's say that you're not in the car, right? And she doesn't know how to pump gas, how would she ever learn?
Yeah, that's facts.
Because there's a lot of people out here that don't know how to pump gas, don't know how to change a tire, don't know how to change oil. So what's the point? What's the problem with teaching your other half, if you have a skill, how to do that, and let them lead themselves sometimes? You dig what I'm saying?
Most definitely. You don't want a person to be so dependent on you. And then you have men and women that, not to be negative, they like to have a leg up on somebody.
Right. Me teaching you put you too far ahead of me.
You can't do this. So when it's time when you need that person to do this, now they in your face. Well, you don't need not do this in the first place. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's a recipe for disaster. That's
Or,
not.
or when you got a lot on your plate and you need this person to take something off your plate. Now, how hard is it for them to take that off your plate if you never taught them that skill?
Most definitely.
A skill that you have that they didn't have growing up.
Most definitely. Like
So,
we all come from different backgrounds. We may have grew up the same, but you know, every household is not run the same way.
Yeah.
Everybody not taught the same way, the same time, whatsoever.
Yeah, the same morals or anything.
That's
the craziest part, because it's like the generational curses are coming back to haunt this generation, and it's hitting this generation so hard because we're starting to realize so much. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I feel like and piggyback off that, I feel as though like the generations before us, they've been taught to like live in fear somewhat. Like as far as like staying, for example, staying at a job that's not making you happy, and on top of that, it's not even paying your bills. Like, what's the first thing your folks would say if you say I'm about to quit? Like, you know, your folks be like, why you leaving that job?
Why you giving up? That's not gonna look good.
But I get that, and it may be a struggle, but I'd rather struggle and find my happiness than to keep clocking in somewhere where I know it's pissing me off. You're going to go home and you're going to take it out on somebody. Right?
Yeah.
Your wife going to get it, your girl going to get it, your kids going to get it, and I don't want to live that way.
And that's another generational curse of being able to come home and take your backpack off at the door and leaving it at the door instead of bringing it home or bringing your home problems to work.
Most definitely.
Because a lot of people can't take that off or turn it off. That's like being in a job for so long, and then it becomes so ingrained in you that it becomes your everyday life.
Most definitely.
Like you see that on cop shows and army movies, but that army shit's real life. Yeah, it's no turning it off.
I definitely agree. I just, this is with the old generation. I feel like that's a big curse. Like even when it comes down to the things happening inside of families, they keep everything on a hush. And then when a person,
I gotta tap in on that.
But when a person, when they hit the fan, it's like, oh, why did this happen? It's because nobody did it. Like, ain't nobody did it. It's always, well, let's keep it on the hush. Yeah, you should keep things indoor, but you need to discuss things. Like, if somebody bother you, somebody rub you the wrong way, you don't gotta be confrontational about it, but why not tell a person, hey, this offended me? But go ahead, I definitely want to hear what you gotta say.
About the way I grew up was I had a parent that was a village raiser. You get what I'm saying? Like he would invite everybody into the problem. You get what I'm saying? And I hated that as a child. If I get a E on a test, why does your friends know? Why are your friends calling me, checking in on me? I get it. Because they want to see me do better regardless. But stop. Certain people don't take well to that.
That's the positive and negatives of that love. You know what they say. Well, when I grew up, my mom with me. The next door neighbor got me. But it's positives and negatives to that. Like the positive is you'll learn respect.
Yeah, but
then
the
what negatives is like, in my mind, like,
it doesn't take that to make me learn respect.
Embarrassment does not teach respect. Exactly. You can go about it a different way. Like you can go about it a different way. Like I just hate when my mother did that, bro. Like
I hated it, bro.
You get in trouble, you get suspended. Everybody know.
I don't want to talk to 10 different people about the same thing.
You know the wild part? What they tell you, what they used to tell us growing up though. Like, what happens in this house
stays in this house. It's a contradiction.
What you're doing. Yeah. Like. You doing it though, bro.
That was one thing I hated growing up with, like being so out there in the community. Cause my dad was my dad was known. I'm known. So it's just like all those people that know me feel like they have to say something to me, and it's like my dad would go and make it known so that they would say something to me instead of just going, we having a conversation, it's dead. And then I go and do my thing and be better. I don't need to have that conversation 8 times over to say the same thing. If me and my dad have a conversation, he asks me why. And then me and my coach have a conversation. He asks me why. And then me and the team mom have a conversation. She asks me why. And then me and my brother have a conversation. He asks me why.
It's redundant. Like,
what am I still telling the story for? If you want to tell them what's going on, tell them why.
Especially like when you get older, and you're like, bruh, it's like 14, 15, you start knowing. You have an idea of who you go to for certain problems.
Yeah.
Like, you telling people that I wouldn't even lean on in the situation.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have that type of familiarity with that person. Why? I don't even want to have a conversation with them, like,
at all. I didn't want to have a conversation to begin with. So
yeah.
If I want to talk to you about it, what will make you think that I want to talk to these people about
the person that I want to talk to, or the people that I want to talk to about it, I would have made my way to them.
Right. But as a kid, you don't do that. That goes into another point where, as a kid, you're taught to keep things in without them even realizing that they teach you this way. Like, suck it up, be strong, keep your game face on. Like, all this other stuff is teaching you to bottle everything up.
Especially as a man, bro. Like,
I'm just talking about from the kid's perspective. Like, as a man, we know differently now.
Well,
and it took us some time to learn that.
I'm saying, as a boy, eat it, man up.
Yeah.
You can't. Some things you gotta just take a lick and keep moving. But like, you can't sit here and act like everything don't hurt, because then when you like you said, you bottle it up. You lashing out on because of little things.
But you don't realize that. That's the hardest part. Your reaction back then was so different than what you do now. After realizing,
Not everybody.
Hopefully, after realizing what the problem is, that was the key thing. Once you realize what the problem is and what the situation is and how to handle that situation at that point.
That's facts.
Because back then, how I would react would be, speaking on my behalf, how I would react would be more so blowing up, anger, or just shutting down. Like, relationship wise, I would shut down, and it would be not realizing that I had anxiety, which I got diagnosed with. That me shutting down and wanting to talk about the problem. But in my mind, that little voice in the back of your head is telling you talk, but you're just so shut down that you can't get the words out.
I got you.
Yeah, so it was just so hard dealing with relationship, dealing with your parents, your friendships, and you want to speak on certain things and you can't because you literally can't.
No, but before we jump in the second topic, you said relationship wise, like, is that like pertaining to like her telling people?
No, perfect example is like if we were having like an argument or a problem and it would be something that she wanted to talk about and I would shut down, as in she's asking me a question and I want to talk to her about it. I want to communicate. I want to communicate about it. But it's like,
you can't.
I can't. Like, it's literally like I'm ignoring her at this point.
It's no excuse, but it's like it's not coming out. The words are not coming out. Yeah. And when it does come out, it's coming out angrier than
it wasn't coming out. It wasn't coming out. It wasn't coming out. It was literally me ignoring and the situation being dead, and then eventually, the conversation just never happened.
See, that'll fuck me up, bro. Like, and I hate to bring
for so long, bro.
I hate to bring like Zodiac something. As a Gemini, like, we need communication. So like, I need my partner to tell me, like, I already have an issue, but like, I don't like to see my partner down. Mm-hmm. None of that shit. So like, I like to fix whatever's wrong, but like
immediately,
as soon as I can. And sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you gotta let a person feel. Just like, if I'm in a bad mood, I need to let it go. I need to go through the motions. But just like back to the communication thing, like, it's just like, I need to just let me know why you're not feeling this type of way. It's okay, like, I'm gonna let you feel the way you feel, but I do want to know. Don't leave me in the wink. I'm gonna get irritated. Right. You're not telling me what's going on.
You lost.
Yes, I feel like I'm lost in the sauce. Like, damn, just tell me what's up. Like,
respect.
But to jump in the second topic. Now, would you let your lady propose to you?
Politically, it's wrong.
Yeah,
politically, it's wrong. Okay, going against our peers and our co-peers. Yeah, your grandparents would never let this happen.
Nah.
Your grandparents would be, why are you doing this?
But time out though, they quote unquote wouldn't let a lot of things happen. Like, they jump on us for having, like, I'm putting myself out there. They jump on me jump on myself. My grandparents jump on me for having like
Kids
with
before
multiple
marriage.
women and kids before marriage.
Before he says multiple women like it's 8 or 9. It's 2.
Oh yeah,
It's
I mean,
2.
of course,
It's the
man.
couple
But
of
like,
2.
they don't look at it that way. But then when you sit down with your folks and like they could tell you, well, grandma was doing her thing too back then. Like,
Right.
it's okay.
Right.
Like, you know, they I understand it's from a place of care, but it's also from a place of judgment, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing that they don't know how to
turn off, dog.
Not even turn off. They don't know how to communicate that without it being judgmental.
Most definitely, bro.
So it's like your parents don't want you to drink. Your parents don't want you to do drugs, and to you it looks hypocritical, but to them it's from a point of protection.
Yeah,
but you gotta let people live. Honestly,
I understand like having a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Like, you do want to protect them from everything, but I do understand, and this is before I get to them being teens or whatever. Like, they're going to do some things that I'm not going to approve of.
Right.
I did shit that my parents definitely didn't know of.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And my parents did shit that their folks didn't approve of. So I'm not going to live in no fantasy land. Like, I'd rather you be aware of the things out here than go learn them on the street.
Mm-hmm. That's like, let's just use an example of, if I protect my kid from everything, how would they learn anything?
Yeah, like,
how would they learn to pick themselves up if I never let them fall and get a scrape?
If you put them in a bubble and you don't tell them about sex, you don't tell them about drugs.
I gotta touch on that.
You don't tell them about the street life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tell them about scammers and so forth. They gonna get out here,
and people that's gonna play with you like that come off as one way, and that you like. It's one thing to be able to read a person, like you can literally look at a person and know their intentions, or hear and see a person and know their intentions if you have that eye. I got that eye. So it's just like, touching on the thing what you said, you gotta have that sex talk as early as possible. You got to teach them as early as possible, because if somebody's doing something to them and they don't know the difference, and they don't know, hey, this, you should not be doing this, you don't know how many kids that have not come to their parents yet, or come to their guardian yet, or come out as an adult yet, that have been assaulted. So like, it was something on Twitter recently, and they were talking about how teaching I don't want to say sex ed, but teaching sex ed in kindergarten. Now, on the surface, that sounds fucking terrible. But if a kid doesn't know this man shouldn't be touching my pee-pee or my cuckoo, they just going along with it. You don't know how many kids are literally living with that.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, I say, make them aware of their parts.
Yeah, not the sexualization, but make them known to their anatomy.
So if somebody's touching them, they will tell you, mom, dad, auntie, somebody touched me here. Like, this is for their own safety.
It's murder. Let me find out that somebody touched my kids. I have 2 daughters. Let me find out that somebody is touching my kids, bro. Girl dad, you feel me? Like, I don't care how much time they give me. I'm getting it. Write on my books, send me letters, throw me numbers, because I'm going in.
You got it.
It's
a crazy world, man.
It definitely is, and it's only getting crazier. That's the crazy thing. But to touch on your topic, would I let my lady propose to me? It's touch and go. If that's her prerogative, but I just feel like there needs to be a conversation about it, honestly. Which it's a contradiction on my behalf, because I feel like there needs to be some type of spontaneity back in relationships. Everything doesn't need to be talked about. It doesn't. I just don't see that point. Like, do you feel like you should have to set up a schedule to have sex with your girl?
Nah, I agree definitely that. Even though, like, I'm all for communication, I'm with you. Some things just should happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to.
But it's so much controversy with that now.
Like, I don't want for you to know when I'm going to propose. I can give you the year, but I can give you like the year or maybe a time frame. I don't want you to know, because I suck at surprises, but that's one that I'm not giving up.
Well, at least you can take that in, and you can literally go to maybe her friends or something and go, hey, look, I'm not too good with surprises, and you got a village that you can go to where you can just ask for help.
Most definitely.
But
I put my poker face on when it comes to that, and I don't drop. So I'm not telling you nothing. Like,
yeah,
but would I let her propose to me? Like,
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want her to.
In my current relationship, I know she would not. So that, but to answer the question, like, I wouldn't want her to.
Mm-hmm.
I love her enough. I mean, like you said before, we had to delete the first video because it wasn't recording. Like, I mean, I wouldn't tell her no because, like you said, that was a strong point. You tell her no, she might just leave you. So, like,
That's the thing. But that would have to have a conversation. Hey, look, I'm not saying no, but I don't want you to propose to me. That's how that conversation should go.
Yeah,
but,
like, shit, you better hope she is, like, understanding that you get somebody that might be like, nah. Like a man would, like, no, because I know if I say no, I mean, if she say no to me, and like you said, everything is tucked out the window.
Yeah, I was about to say that poses the question. That poses this question of if you propose and the person says no, is the relationship over? Because where do you go from there? Because it could just be, hey, I'm not ready yet. Okay, cool. That's a whole different conversation. But no.
But I need to know.
Where does the no come from?
Don't tell me. Not to sound controlling. If you tell me you're not ready yet, just give me details. Like, tell me.
So you need feedback on why.
Don't just tell me, because I feel like that's like. I'm sorry, fellas, but that's a man shit to say. Oh, I'm not ready yet. Like, tell me I'm not ready because I can't trust you all the way financially, or I'm not.
So it has to be a reason.
Spiritually, I'm not there yet, and I don't want to cheat it. I can respect that. Like, if you telling me no, not yet because of this, don't just tell me not yet and leave me in a wind. Go back to communication, because now when you don't communicate effectively, you leave room for overthinking.
Are you an overthinker?
Shit, everybody can be. I am. Like, that's why I need the communication, so I know. So the scenarios that come to my head, I know it's not true. Like, she gave me an example. I don't want to leave her in the wind, and I don't want to be left in the wind. Just communicate with me.
Right, respect.
Go ahead, my bad.
I definitely get where you're going. But that goes hand in hand with a lot of controversial viewpoints of a lot of people going, you should be able to say no without reasoning. You should be able to say no without having to. Your no should be okay. It should be enough. But I feel that's controversial because some people need that detail. Some people need that closing of no, because if you're explaining the situation to your, let's say, your circle or your closest people, and you go, hey, well, it didn't work out, and they go, why? And you go, I don't know. And they're sitting there looking at you, well, you didn't want to get that closure?
Yeah. Or, you know what I'm saying? Not so much closure, but just, you just need to know.
Reasoning?
Just the reasoning. Like, now, it's a balance. If somebody tells you no, when it comes to, like, sex, all right, no's no.
Right.
If somebody tell you no when it comes to your body, or just when it comes to, like, you know, say y'all get in an argument, she tell you no, you can't come in or something. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's different, but like,
where it's something that needs some type of
you
detail.
need a little bit of detail. Like, you don't got to give me a whole essay,
right?
But it just not
tell me your feelings on why you told me no.
That way, I know how to move. I don't want to go home tripping like, oh, nah, she fuck everything, bro. She told me no. You can tell me why. Just then when I go tell my men or whoever. Just like y'all confide. We confide in our men too. You know what I'm saying? Or I might go confide in my homegirl. I can tell her, well, she said no because of this. What do I do? What do you think?
Right.
If I just tell her she said no, you know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna be looking like,
well, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Did you ask why?
Of course. I mean, but then that goes into like as kids, you know, we had a posse, a big friend group that we had around. Nowadays, you see a lot of that stuff as condensed now. Instead of it being 15, instead of it being 10, you got probably like a select 5 people that you got in your friend group that are solid.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you're not saying that you disconnected from these 15 or that you don't still connect with these 15, but they're not your go-to people like they used to be. You get what I'm saying? So, like, how do you handle, or how do you see your village or your circle or your friend group now pertaining to how they used to be when you were little?
No, when we was younger, like you said, it's a group, and that you gain friends on where you live, what school you go to, what you do after school. You know, whether you balling or you just around the way. When you get older, like I just feel as though like you got everybody is on a different journey. You're gonna have your men that's in the street, and shit. Once you have kids, I know for me, I'm not a street person anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm not nobody's street, but I know how to maneuver out here too. But I got kids now. I can't be out there with you, bro. Like I love my kids too much. Like I can't. I'm not gonna be that one
to bring it home.
To bring that home, bro, or just be the one risking that. I'm not taking that risk. Yeah. You can't raise your kids in jail, so I'm not taking that type of ill, bro. But you know, then you get. I just feel like you'll see that some people we shift off, bro.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes you start befriending people or you stay with people that can relate to your situation or help you, not help you just like money wise, but
help you in a
people that's growing with you,
right?
People that can help you grow, people that's trying to trend in the same direction as you. Like,
right. They water you, you water them, y'all grow together.
That's the only benefit that you really need for friends. Like, you know, just I don't need money. If they can help you out, you can help them out. Good. We're supposed to all help each other. But like you said, just you being able to water them, and them being able to water you. Like that's pretty much what I lean upon.
Yeah, respect. I mean, I feel like what you were saying with same interest groups, basically, where you have more in common with these people now. Like they say you meet your real friends when you get to college. Now I say when I got to college, I met one of my best friends. He was my roommate, and we talked till now. Still close as ever. I don't see him as much because he moved to LA and shit. But I mean, I take that with a grain of salt because it is some people that I still talk to, communicate from high school, like you, some people from my inner circle, you know. But I lost a lot of people. You know, we just tread in different directions. You know, some betrayal in there. It was some just growing apart in there, and then it was just some we cool. So whenever we see each other, we chop it up for that time. But it was just no connection. You feel me?
Yeah, it's like we ain't no beef or nothing. We just two different.
On two different paths.
Yeah, we on two different paths, and I definitely see. I can't really speak on that, bro, because I went to MoCo. I went to MoCo Community College for like a semester, bro. And I was like, the work was hard, but I was like, this not for me, bro.
Yeah.
That's when I first realized
college is not for everybody, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it was podcasting, but I realized that like I wanted to do something as far as like I got a voice now. That was my thing. I'm like, I don't need to be writing papers for this particular.
I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to use y equals mx plus b.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's like, bro, I'm not about to keep writing these papers and shit, bro. Like, and I don't need a degree for what I want to do in life. Like, I'm fine creating content. That makes me happy. That's one thing that makes me happy.
So when did you figure that out? You figured that out that like right there in college?
I didn't know it was podcasting, but
you knew content.
I figured it out. Like, bro, that's what makes me happy. It took me till I was 22, 23 to figure out this is what I want to do. Bro. It took me a minute. Man, we about to be 27, be 28 May. It took me that long, bro. And just to stay on that for a minute, like I don't want my kids. I'm not saying I'm fearing nothing like that, but I want my kids to figure out
what they want to do early.
What they want to do a little earlier, but if they don't, that is fine. You don't have to grow, and that's something I struggle with, like coming up. Like you went off to school, and for the people that went off to school immediately, I respect that. Y'all could see what y'all wanted to jump into.
Yeah, but touching on that while you're on it, I wish I'd have taken the time to actually expand my choices instead of staying home. You get what I'm saying?
Most definitely. agree. Like I don't believe in living with regrets, but I do wish I probably would have branched off.
Just taking a chance.
Just to went down and see what I could do in a different, like go down south or go up, just move around with college to see what I could do.
Right.
But I don't regret it, and I feel as though you can't have it both ways. Had I taken that path, I probably wouldn't have my kids, and I wouldn't have my current relationship, and I wouldn't trade those things in.
I mean, I wouldn't take it that far because you never know when your paths will cross. Now I know for a fact if I didn't go to the school I wouldn't have the connections that I have now and the friend base that I have now because I wouldn't have met the certain people.
Yeah.
But in the sense of down the line of having the kid or meeting the person that you're with, that's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, you don't miss what's for you.
Yeah.
I just feel like we we always take the right path. Like anyway, you end up taking. You don't miss what's for you. You might make it rockier.
Yeah.
You definitely might make it rockier, but like I feel like God is always behind you, in front of you, beside you, however you want to look at it, guiding you to where you need to go. You're gonna drift off the road. We're humans and we have desires, and sometimes we put those desires over what we really need. But most definitely.
Jesus.
Now.
Fatherhood.
Like we gonna speak on the emotional ties as a father. I'm gonna let you kick this one off.
Emotional ties as a father. I know for me, with my youngest daughter, it was really hard to accept this separation. Like when she would go to her grandmother's house, I was really, really protective of letting anybody be around her.
You should.
So it was kind of hard for me, and then it was like it was a lot. It was just it's a lot to be a dad. It's a lot to be a parent, honestly.
It is.
Especially if you're not ready. When you are ready, there's no perfect time to become a parent. Even those people with money, you never know when an illness is going to happen.
Yeah, the money is nice, but like it makes things smoother. But it's so many things
that can happen. Like parenthood isn't for everybody. Even with money, you got to have a soul connection to your child. You got to have that connection to your child, and then not just be money based. It got to be an internal thing where y'all just connect. So it was just different. It was different the second time around than the first time,
Most definitely. I definitely agree with that, bro.
So
for myself, I'm going to say like I had my son first, of course. I was getting over an ACL injury. I had a full recovery. I had like a full knee scope. Cut my knee right down the middle. That he just motivated me to get back up. And I won't forget that. Now with my daughter, like I was going through a little bit of depression, and she pulled me through that, and I will never forget that with her. Like I didn't have time to, not to be funny, I just didn't have time to be depressed when she got here. I had to get up. I couldn't do that. I couldn't see her, even though she was a small baby. I didn't want to even try to raise her through that.
Yeah.
By the time she got here, I let it go.
But did you actually handle that, or did you just let it go? That depression.
I feel like I handled it. I feel like I handled it. It took praying. Like it took a lot of prayer. It took like music that got me through, and just being honest with myself. And some of it was like self-inflicted things that I did. And things that was done to me, but I don't believe in trying to be a victim. I had to stop being a victim, and I had to also take into account, hold myself accountable for things that I've done in the past. Over time, I got through it.
Right.
And back to emotional ties as a father.
No, I mean that is the emotional ties as a father, though.
But
so I mean that deals with your emotional being, your emotional state. So finish what you were saying, bro.
Like I'm grateful for my kids or whatever. Like they both came at like pivotal points in my life, and
I agree.
Like as a father, like that's why you see me. If you know me, like I'm always kissing my kids on my forehead or whatever. Like I always get shit about that from my family, but like I don't want to be. I didn't have a father that wasn't like emotionally there for me. Like granted, my parents split when I was young, and they got back together, and then they divorced. But like my father was there for me emotionally, so I want to be there. I'm not gonna not be there for them emotionally. So like, shit, they gonna know how it is to say my dad loved me. Like he knew, he didn't just give me tough love. Right when I needed to be pampered or whatever, I can get it from my father too.
And it's about letting them accept their emotions. You dig what I'm saying?
Like I realize I kiss my kids so much. Like they'll come to me and lean their goddamn forehead down because they already know. Like it's just love. It's just love. That's all it is. Like I feel like it's black men, especially like when we had sons. Like yeah, we got to raise them to be tough, but a lot of us are lost out here because we didn't have fathers that put their arms around us. Like
So do you feel like you have to be tougher on your son? Even if you don't have a son, even if you didn't have a son, would you feel like you had to be tougher on your son than your daughter? Because out here you're made to pamper your princess and toughen up your prince. When your daughter falls down, it's okay, baby, don't cry. It's gonna be okay. But then when your son falls, well, actually, you tell your daughter it's okay to cry. When your son falls, you say don't cry. Wipe it off, or put some dirt on it. That tough exterior, but you don't know what you're breeding. You don't know that you're breeding this guy to be emotionally cut off.
I feel like it's a balance, man, and you need. I try to let him know that it is okay to cry. Like it's okay to feel pain. You want to feel it. Like now, do you show your vulnerability to everybody? No, because there are people that will take that and run with it.
Right.
So with my daughter, it's like I'm not trying to bring her up tougher, but like I want her to be hip. I want her to be sharp.
Be on the same accord with your son.
And with my son, like I want him to know how he has to carry himself. Like you can't be like my son is pretty much laid back like myself. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start. It's going on.
That's cool.
But with my son, well, no, I'm saying with my daughter. Like I just want her to be able to handle herself as well too. But
Right.
I don't want her to I don't want her to feel like I have a hard-nosed ass father that I can't come to either. Like it's a balance. Like I want them to know that like
you gotta put their emotional well-being before yours.
I got you.
Right.
Don't play, but it's not all sweet. Like you're not gonna run over me, but I got you too. Like,
right.
You have a father that can play both sides if you need to. I want to be a versatile parent.
Right. So when it comes down to the generational curse of 18, you get out, or 18 now got to be tough on you because you need to have a job or you need to be working your way to get out of my house and be on your own. Where do you stand on that? Because I feel like me as a parent, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to change my ways up and make my kid feel like it's time to jump out just because of her age or what their age or time. I feel like my kids can stay as long as they want at home. If they want to be at 30 at home with me, then that's fine, as long as they on their game. You feel me?
I'm gonna say this is an excellent question, but I'm gonna say like my kids definitely like. I don't want my kids paying my bills. My rent or my mortgage is my rent, my mortgage, or my wife and I. Like, I don't need them to. If I come on hard times, I come on hard times. But you're not going to be expected to pay mortgage and all that.
Basically, like pay rent.
We got it.
Right.
Now.
Because that gives them time to build up money.
Are you 18? Do I expect you to be working or trying to figure something out? Yes. It's not an easy street. But I'm not going to sit here and expect you to be able to move while you're paying rent and then expect you to save and expect you to still want to treat yourself like a human being. Like, you still gonna want to treat yourself. You still gonna want your desires.
Right. It's a contradiction.
Yeah, like that's. Come on now, bro. Basically, you're saying, well, go work so you can buy this and that. Oh, but I'm right back in your pocket too.
Right.
Like,
I still need mine out your part. I still need my 10%.
my mortgage or my rent is my stuff. You know, that mean your mom and I got that. You welcome to stay here. And then at a certain age, I will hope you're not staying here till you're 30. But if it happens,
I'm just giving an example.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I'm not knocking anybody. Like, as long as you're trying to get yourself together. Like, as long as I see my kids pushing and they don't have their feet up, like, oh, well, I'm staying this joint forever. Till dad and mom pass over. Like, this is always gonna be your home. Like, my parents and my aunt, like, of course, when I got older, like, shit, I'm almost 30 now, so, like, I could only respect them if I was still staying here, that I had to pay rent. Like, you got to carry some type of load. But they were patient with me, and I could come back. I can come back here anytime I choose to. But you know, I'm not gonna sit here and try to cake off of them.
Right. I just feel like the only bill that I would expect my child to pay growing up and getting on her own would be her phone bill, just to teach her some type of responsibility, or teach them some type of responsibility.
Like when it comes to a car note, whatever, like. We can work something out. I got your insurance, and you got the note, whatever. Like, but
I'm going to be helping.
But I'm not going to set you up until you hear. Oh, and you know the old adage. Well, when I was 18, I had to do this and that. Something, but
it's not that time anymore.
When it comes to, and not even that. When it comes to like somebody being put in a rough situation, why would you want to see the next man? Like okay, the first dude. Let's say the first person to have a car. If let's say he's the only, it's gonna break up right
now. No, you good, bro. While he's getting himself situated, I feel like certain things you did. Well, I'm out of the week, so we get that on add. Yeah, say add to the episode.
I'm about to do it again.
And we're going to 3 recording on those.
It'll push up on one.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm gonna say like I don't get it. Like with parents, basically, if you knew, okay, I was basically saying to do with the first car. If he got better technology, what type of person is he? If he see the person still struggling with that first prototype of car, let's say he got faulty tires. What type of man is he if he knows that and he don't?
If he don't help?
Yeah, hey bro, those tires not no good. You want to do this.
But that goes back to what you were saying earlier with people feeling like if I give them this knowledge that's going to edge them up over me. Certain people have that pride that I don't want to give them that additional help that will push them above my status quo.
That's that crab barrel mentality, though, man. Yeah. You want to pull somebody down.
Or keep them at that level.
Yeah,
keep them from growing.
Nah, if you don't have to even give me credit. Like, you don't have, let's say for people that we inspire with by doing this, it's nice if they shout us out and say, you know, well, they were inspiration. But if you don't, that's fine, bro. Like,
right.
As long as I'm inspiring some positivity or helping somebody, I'm fine, bro. I feel like that's what it's all about in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
So what's your stance on protecting your other half at all costs? And this is our last topic for the day. So we want to talk your heads off. We sorry about that.
I feel like, cause you see it on Twitter all the time, people running up on a girl and their boyfriend stepping in, and or the dude is fighting and the girl jumping in. You run up on my girl, bro. You bound to get touched by me. I'm sorry, bro. You gonna catch these hands. I'm a protector.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm with that, bro. Just off the strength, like if a dude ran up on me, so I know my girl. If she see it coming, if she can't tell me out the way, she gonna pop off.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's just gonna have to be both of us, bro.
Yeah, that's like, bro. It don't matter who it is. My girl, my friends, my kids, my parents. Everybody knows me as the pop-off man. If you know me growing up, you know I'm that guy that's gonna be popping shit. Like, what's really good with y'all? Like, what's up? But now if you run up and it's really about to get unchy, just know I'm that man. I'm that man. I'm gonna put hands on you.
Hey, bro. it's only right though if you see it coming, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be holding you something. I saw it coming, but I ain't know.
I'm not breaking it up.
Bro,
My people gotta doors you. My people gotta whoop on you. Like, I'm not breaking nothing up. You get to get in the upper hand. I'm gonna throw that thing in there. Pop, pop. Now y'all stand up and recon. Like y'all get back to it. Let's even this out.
Amen.
Now if I lose, I'm gonna fight you every time I see you. I'm sorry. Until I win.
It's better than what everybody turn to these days. Like,
Yeah, no guns.
You get beat with the hands and you gotta go.
No
gotta
guns.
go get the dog. But like, just because you got that goes back to what pride though. But that's for a whole nother episode. That's pride related right there, man. We can dump it. We probably jump into that soon.
Keep the guns down, put them fists up, and just knuckle in.
That's
bro.
how we used to. That's how we grew up, man. Like you had an issue, and most of the time, like you realize, like the people you was in them situations where y'all become tighter after that.
Yeah.
Just cause y'all got issues off. You can come back, bro, from y'all getting y'all issue off with your hands, bro. But
yeah, and it don't even have to be nobody getting stomped out or nothing. Like literally, fight until a nigga submit. Like either they submit or they get dropped, and then.
Or even both of y'all might just be like, all right, bet.
Look, I got my issue on. We solid.
I don't like how you did that. I don't like how you did that. We got our issue off. It don't gotta be no everyday type of thing, but. We're going to close out, man. Thanks for tuning in to the Intellect Connection.
Intellect Connect. Signing off. Darian.
Kello.
Peace out.